Hi, in this video I want to explain KVM concepts by doing lab. I want to explain KVM which using which for creating VMs, command line, which manager, also cockpit, web console, OVIRT by doing lab. But at the first I want to install my lab. I want to create my lab. For that I provided Oracle VirtualBox Manager and Virtual Machine Manager. Inside the Oracle VirtualBox Manager I will install two servers, server 1 and server 2. And by Virtual Machine Manager I will connect to them and I will install VMs on server 1 and server 2. For providing this scenario, I have to install a hypervisor inside server 1 and server 2. And because I am using two VirtualBox Manager, at the server 1 we should install libvirt as a hypervisor, and because of that we should enable nested virtual machine inside VirtualBox Manager. Now I'm trying to install two server, server 1 and server 2, and after that I try to configure SSH connection to them, and I will install libvirt component inside server 1 and server 2. And for installing the first virtual machine we will need one storage for saving the first image of Ubuntu. For example, we will download the Ubuntu and we will install from the storage that we will create by Virtual Machine Manager. Now I'm trying to delete the server 1 and server 2 for reinstalling again and explain how can configure this server. Delete all files, delete all files. Now the server 1. Linux, I prefer here by, I think 6 is good for me. The first one, in the setting, the system processor, we should enable nested VTX AMDV. Now by terminal try to listing VMs inside the VirtualBox Manager. There is only one. Try to create second one. Linux 5000. Dynamic. Create the second one. Again, listing the servers. There are two. Both of them is not enabled. The processor nested with. Try to enable them. Server 2. You can see here is not enabled yet. The first one, the second one is enabled because we didn't do the first one here. You can see the server one, there is a space inside that. But I prefer remove the space. Now it's okay. Both of them is activated. For the network, both of them are bridge. Now is the server one is IPs 192, 168, 120. For installing Ubuntu, before everything, we should have image server of the Ubuntu. You can choose from here. Try to select it. Storage. Okay. Try put 1. Try put 2. It's a simple way of installing server. Is only for creating 2 server for my lab. But at the future in the KVM we will have many type of installation of OS. Is server 1, is server 2. At the server 1 we start, server 2 also we start. prefer to pause the video and continue after finishing the process. Okay, here English, continue without updating, done. It's a page of configuration of our network. We need subnet. Gateway is my router inside the apartment, and the name server is same because send the DNS to the global DNS by my router. I tried. This is the IP of my server is I think is better to server 1 22, server 2 is 20. It's a server 1 is 22. Okay, now it's connect to the network. Done. The disk configuration default done. Again default done. Continue. Your name, I'm system admin. Your server name, okay, server 1. I prefer for lab only I have a system admin user. I try to enter password. Here you can choose the install OpenSSH server package to enable secure remote access to your server. Activate. Now it's for first server. We should wait, but also we are able to configure the second one. Okay, now is a configuration of the network. Manual. Okay. Same subnet. '20 is for server 2. Same gateway. Done. Same and default configuration. Now is server 2 as admin. The server name, server 2. As admin. No, it's a password. We choose a different for the password. the name is server 2 and done. Again, open SSH, done. Done. Now I'm trying to pause the video and we will continue after the completing of the installation process. Okay, 2 servers are installed. Reboot now. The second one, reboot now. I hope everything is okay. Second one is work. For the first one, IPA is the network configuration is look okay. For the second one, also we have IPA. This look okay, but now is the time to connect to the server by SSH. Now at first I try to ping server 1 is okay. Again try to ping server 2 is okay. Go to SSH cd SSH. We should remove noun house because we had the same server here. Okay, remove it. Now is the time for connection to the server. It's admin. Server 1. Yes. It's working. Now for server 2. Admin is user. Admin user of server 2 is the IP. The IP is 20. Also we have save process. Here the password is working. Now I have a connection to the server inside the VirtualBox manager. Server 1, server 2, they are maybe located in the server room or other place, I don't know. But I am able to connect them with SSH and I am able to configure them by SSH. The next step is connecting connecting to the server by key, by using SSH keygen. We try to exit exit server 1, and I'm trying to make RSA key. I try to enter before I created for previous server. It want to rewrite to them. Okay, I have a key in the desktop in my laptop. Okay, I have a key here. I want to connect to the server by this key. It is necessary you copy this key to the destination that located in the server. It's a server 2. Need password. Now is it server 1? Need password. Now what happened here? This key provide something for us that we are able to connect the server without entering the password. Here again, I try to connect to the server with the SSH. Server 1. Without password, we are able to connect it. Server 2. Also it's same. Now why we should do this? Because we want to connect to the servers by virtual machine manager. But at the first, for connecting virtual machine manager to the server, we need hypervisor. We need install package that for the lab. At first, for the server 1, try to update. Server 2, try to update. Server 1. Server 2. I'm trying to install libweb inside part of them. Now I prefer to pause the video. Okay, I try to install all of the packages that I mentioned here. Let's finish. Server 1 and server 2. But here I prefer to reboot both of them. Oh, reboot. Now we can verify the process. Okay, everything is okay. Now is it turn off the connection? Is we want to connect to the hypervisor of each server. Is writing delete new add here add connection as admin. I should say you are able to provide KVM user, not a root user, but here as a lab I prefer to use one user. It's easy for me, but it's important you have provide many user for each project you are doing. The server 1, try to connect it. Is connect to the server 1. For the server 2, again is working, but here at the server 1 I want to create the first OS. We have a lot of command here for verifying KVM module. You should do this if you have a problem. At the first, we need ISO image for installing the server, the first VM. But there are many scenarios for implementing OS in the KVM concept. But here, for starting, I want to start by very easy way to installing virtual machine. Okay, now we need to create a storage for putting server image of the server inside the storage. Consider the server room is not in your located. You need the storage for downloading the ISO image for deploying server. At the first, you need a storage at the destination, at the server you are working with. Here, I try to double click to the server 1. We have virtual network here. Also, we have a storage. For creating a storage, here at the first, I try to connect to server 1. You can see only we have SDA here, only one disk here. But for the storage here, we need to apply storage at the server, inside the server one. We go to the setting, and in the controller, SATA controller, you can see there are icon to creating the storage, but here it is necessary that you turn off the server. Power off. Setting, storage, you are here. I'm trying to add hard disk. I use B for them. There are attached storage. They are not attached. They were for previous lab. Create the storage. I need only for ISO the location of the storage, but in the reality you don't have this. Only they are in the VirtualBox manager. You can apply your hard disk, your storage physically to the server, but here for the lab I create the storage by VirtualBox. Is 10 gig. I choose it. Now I start the server. Here you can see only we had SDA at the server 1. I wait to the reboot the server. New connection to the server 1. It's the server 1. You see there is a SDA here. There is no more. But after adding new storage, we have SDB here. But now is the time to applying this new storage to the VirtualBox manager. I want to apply storage to this area. Try to fdisk the SDB. cd dev you can see SDA are formatted, but SDB is not formatted. We use fdisk. Okay, we need m command. You can see here we have add a new partition. N, we need the primary for this lab. Partition number, default number, size is default, everything is default. But here again help. Write table to the disk. Now ls blk. We formatted the SDB to SDB1. Okay. Now we should make file system by this command. And after that, I have to create two folders inside the server one. Okay. Now is a target path for KVM ISO. We have a lot of storage in the KVM, but now I'm starting with file system directory. You can see there are many types of the storage here. For this scenario, I prefer to use pre-formatted block device here because it's completely matched with the command that provided here. Target path. For the target path, we have a KVM ISO here. For the source path, we have SDB1. Okay. Also, we had it. I choose the name pool. Storage pooling is a main concept of the KVM because it's important that you can create the storage for many reasons. For example, you need to have a sharing storage for your domain, or you need to have a database, backupping database, everything. Actually, without the concept of the storage in the KVM, you cannot do anything. At the first, you need to provide a storage pooling for any project that you want to do. After that, I apply it, and at the server, it's server 1 cd to cd KVM cd ISO we have here. But what is the next step is it is important you have first image of your OS, but here I'm using the image that I want to download it to the folder. Now I pause the video. Okay, the image was downloaded inside the folder that I created before. I want to create the first virtual machine inside the virtual machine manager, but this virtual machine, as I said, are located in the server 1. We install hypervisor inside server 1, and we install our component related to a KVM and libweb inside server 1, and I try to make a connection with the virtual machine manager. Now I want to create the first virtual machine. We have a pool storage here we created, and we put ISO image inside the pool storage. But for the new virtual machine, also we are able to create new storage and install virtual machine inside the new storage. Consider this everything happen in the server. We are working remotely on the server, is not the local workstation. These storage they are in the server. But here at the first I want to use a storage of the OS. I don't want to create new storage for the virtual machine. Maybe at the next video I will try to install new storage for the VMs. But here I'm using the storage of the main OS of the server. Okay, now I am creating new VMs inside my virtual machine manager. It's very slowly and it takes a time. I try to pause the video, and I will continue. Okay, try to install it, continue, done, 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 Okay, I'm trying to pause the video. Okay, it's installed and I'm trying to reboot it. Okay, now we have Ubuntu inside the virtual machine manager and it's running, and now you can see we have a lab environment for KVM here. The server 2 here is off. Okay, my lab is ready, and for the next video I want to continue KVM concept.